Yes, hello everyone. So Lewis Hall, Anthony Gordon will miss the Carabao Cup final. You know that already. I don't have to go through that. It's disappointing. It's crushing. It weakens us. Let's face it, it does. And it's obviously you're up against Salah and probably Trent Alexander-Arnold for the final. That is to stop that. That's taking some doing, isn't it? And who's going to play a left back and who's going to play a left wing? And I know I'm jumping the gun and jumping one game ahead, but following on from Sam's video yesterday about Lewis Hall being injured, I thought it was the perfect time just to put a video out there. And because I think West Ham away, which we'll be at, I think Monday night tells us a strong indication of what the lineup might be for the final. I think 10, maybe a change, maybe a surprise that Eddie Howe's got up his sleeve. He has played Gordon off the striker. Isak just recently. There might be another one. Who knows? Isak might not even play up top. He could move him out wide and bring him in. Who knows? There could be a surprise, but it's unlikely. So I've got 5 different scenarios. Look, there's a few, but I've gone with the 5 probably most likely that Eddie Howe will go with. And we'll bring up the lineup now for you. And over, you've got to look straight away on the left-hand side naturally because that's where we've got 2 bodies missing. And 2 fantastic players, you must say. But Harvey Barnes is your natural winger to do that. Cuts in like Gordon does. You can score the odd worldie. You can bring a little bit of unpredictability, you probably say. You can come up with some magic. Some people might say he might be better off the bench, which I would probably agree with some of that. And then Tino Livramento on that left back role, because I think he's probably more favourite than Dan Burn should Sven Botman come back. But then Trippier over at right back. I think I'm not going to go on too much about the goalkeeper. You can pick Pope, you can pick Dubravka. I think they're all most similar. I don't think there's a huge gulf in difference anymore. I think it was when Pope come, but I think Pope's decline, especially with his injury. Pope needs to get back to his best, or he's risking his first choice goalkeeper next season, especially with the links with James Trafford won't go away. So there's scenario 1. Livramento up against Salah is tough, and you're going to need probably Joe Linton in that left midfield role just to cover a little bit and come over. A bit similar to when Gary Speed, if you are old enough to remember, when Gary Speed used to cover left back and left wing. So there's your first option. Second option is if Botman comes back, keep the same formation, put Livramento back where he normally is, and play Dan Burn left back. Now, Dan Burn hasn't played left back hardly at all this season. He has done well at left back, and he's actually done well against Salah in the past. I think there's only one game he had one bad game against Salah playing there, but the other times he's been fine. 3 or 4 times he's played against him, and then Barnes left wing. That's what he could do if Botman comes back. Botman is a little bit of a worry because I think if Botman doesn't play on Monday, he's got 6 days then to get match fit and be ready. I think we don't have to worry much about Isak because he was doing media shoots for the Carabao Cup final. So if he's doing media shots, etc., shoots, shots, whatever you want to call it, that tells me that he's going to be all right. But that's one option that Botman might come in. I think Monday, if you can get him some game time, if he is ready for Monday, we'll know obviously by Eddie's presser tomorrow whether Botman makes that or not, because he might just say it's touch and go and he doesn't want to give too much away. And we'll have to see on Botman. I think that's a big thing for us defensively. Scenario number 3. Again, we'll keep Botman in the side, keep Burn left, keep Livramento right. I don't want you to focus too much on the defence, but going forward, this is where I want you to look at a little bit more. You could have Joe Linton on that left side because he'll track back and help. No shadow of a doubt about that. And then you can alternate with Willock. If I move on to the next slide, all I've literally done is move the 2 around. If I go back to the previous slide, there you go. You can mix the 2 around during the game, and Willock will give you energy in midfield, and I think you're going to need that. And Willock will also help defensively as well. And he's got a bit of pace. He can bring the ball forward, whereas Joe Linton gives you other qualities such as strength, dynamism, aggression. So that could be one. Or you could, even with that midfield, you could have Livramento left back and you could have Trippier right back. But we're focusing more on the going forward aspects of it. And the other option that he could do, he could go wing backs because he's done it against Arsenal and that worked. Now, people might look at that and think, well, that's negative going into a cup final. We had to win it. But the positive to come from that, it'll probably make us more defensively stable. You would think, especially that we haven't been able to put a pass together, more than 5 passes for the last few games. We've been awful in possession. Having an extra body back will help, but it also gives you options to go attacking later by pulling off a defender and maybe bringing on Harvey Barnes or maybe bringing on Callum Wilson, go 2 up top because you've got nothing to lose. If you're getting beat, you may as well go for it. So on this circumstances, I've got 5 at the back if Botman makes it, with Dan Burn and Fabian Schär. Trippier as your right wing back. Livramento as your left wing back. Joe Linton on that left side to help Livramento out with Salah and Trent. Tonali and Bruno. But then in possession, you may be able to have Joe Linton just tucking in a little bit and keep Murphy on the other side out wide. There might be times where Isak may have to pull over to that left-hand side if Joe Linton is helping out defensively just to get away from Van Dijk and Konate. That is a possibility as well. The other scenario with the wing-back situation is, and it'll be a surprise if he does it, he could move Joe Linton alongside Tonali and Bruno as a midfield 3 and then rely on Livramento to get up. And it's a big ask to get up that pitch, Livramento up and down, and Trippier get up and down, and even have Murphy on the bench, and then surprise, you never know, you could have someone playing off the striker. It's a risk. It could be Isak and Wilson. It's a huge ask, but I just think having a little bit of quality off the bench, Newcastle are probably going to need that late in the game. Maybe it's Harvey Barnes, maybe it's Willock, maybe it's Wilson. I think having that option on the bench will actually do us the world of good with the wing-back situation. So those are probably the most likely outcomes with the lineups that I've gone with. I know I'm jumping the gun. West Ham will be an eye-opener of what we'll go with probably, unless he pulls off a massive surprise. And he'll be brave, he'll be bold, he'll have a look at genius if we've won the trophy. It's a big ask against Liverpool. But if it goes all tits up and goes pear-shaped, people will point the finger and say, well, wait a minute, you were very negative, you're very defensive against Liverpool. So it will be interesting. Of course, the whole weekend's going to be absolutely class. We're all going down there. There's loads of it down there from the YouTube team. There's loads of it. I think there's only one who's staying behind. I've got loads of videos to see all the extras, regulars, the extras, etc., who you normally see on vlogs and stuff like that. But I want to know what you lot think, following on from the bad news, awful news. It's weakened us. We cannot lie about it, but we've got to have a little bit of hope. We've got to have a little bit of positivity. Because if you're going to get the game, think, oh, we're going to get beat. Don't go. Give your ticket to someone else. You've got to have a little bit of positivity. Come on, we've got to look at aspects. And next week, what we'll do is we'll have a look at where we can pinpoint Liverpool. Obviously, they didn't play great against PSG. And I'm pleased that tie is only 1-0. Because that means they've got something to play for in that second leg, which is sandwiched when we play them. So, there you go, everyone. Drop us a massive like on this video. That would be absolutely wonderful. If you haven't seen the hot spicy challenge that the lads did, I've put the highlight up on NFTV Extra. It's about 10 minutes long. The reactions of them are fucking brilliant. You've just got to go over and have a look at it. NFTV Extra with second channel. Unreal. Right, love yous and leave yous, everyone. Bye-bye.